I don't know how else to say this. I am really excited to do this video. So today we're going to be doing 7 different wide range humbuckers, all in the same guitar. And all of these pickups are basically replicas of the original Fender 1970s CuNiFe wide range humbucker. The Lollars and the Creamery that I have for the review today, they use Alnico 5 magnets, as the pole pieces are actually the magnets, and all the Fenders that I'm reviewing today have the CuNiFe magnets. So the pickup that obviously carries the most hype with it that I'm reviewing today is this original 1970s Fender CuNiFe wide range humbucker. And because they didn't really distinguish between neck and bridge back then, I mean, maybe when they were putting them in, they would get the resistance reading and try to pair them up that way. But because they were basically the same in neck and bridge, I used that pickup as the neck and as a bridge in some of these examples. So for the other pickups, I was able to get a hold of the new Fender CuNiFe 2020 reissues. So another wide range I've always been excited to try was the wide range offering from the Creamery. This is kind of his standard. It's just the classic 71 neck position. All right, and of course I had to do the Lollar Regals in this comparison. They are all Alnico 5 wide range humbuckers. Of course the rods are Alnico 5. And this is a Warmoth roasted swamp ash body with a Warmoth roasted maple neck. These are 1 meg volume pots and 500 meg tone pots in this guitar. Oh, and I almost forgot, we also have the Lollar low wind neck that is used, of course, with the Lollar bridge. So as usual, in the end, I'm going to talk about what I really liked in these pickups, which ones I'm going to keep, and then obviously which ones I'm going to sell very quickly because they're expensive. So, and also what's going to be in wide range comparison number 2. Let's dive into some tones and hope you enjoy it. hope you found that helpful and enjoyable. I certainly did. I am super obsessed with wide range humbuckers. I didn't talk about it a whole lot in the beginning because I wanted to get this going, but my first exposure to them was I was in a band with a guy who had a 72 Telecaster, and it was an original, and that neck pickup just sounded amazing. And he had one of the reissues at the time, and he always complained about how it really wasn't the same. And I didn't really know anything about it. I was playing drums in the band, and I really hadn't gone bananas about pickups at that point. Then fast forward like another 10 years, and a friend of mine had a Nash Tele Deluxe, and I fell in love with the Regals that were in that. And so I built my own. I've gone back and forth between really liking the Regals and the low wind Regal. And then Fender came out with these CuNiFes for 2020, and I knew I just had to do this video. So I'm definitely keeping the 2020 bridge. I love that pickup. I think it's the perfect bridge pickup of the three that I reviewed today. For the neck position, I'm torn between the vintage CuNiFe and the 2020 reissue CuNiFe. And I have another guitar that I might actually keep the low wind Regal to put in. It's a hollow body K. It's a bolt-on neck, and it's actually a Warmoth neck on a vintage hollow body K. This thing, it's pretty noisy because you can't really shield one of these things well, so I thought it might be fun to put a wide range humbucker in this, and that's probably going to end up in number 2 or number 3 of these reviews that I'm doing, so keep an eye out for that. So yeah, I am undecided between the vintage CuNiFe and the 2020 CuNiFe in the neck. So let me know what you think. I'm going to be mulling it over a little bit. I really thought that the vintage 2020, I don't know if it's not potted, but it seemed to have a little bit more like bloom and openness to it, but it lacked the punch that the 2020 CuNiFe had. That 2020 CuNiFe really had a nice punch and some sizzle on top, but it wasn't as robust as like the Creamery and the Lollar regular wind. The thing that I struggle with wide range pickups is that trying to get the low strings to have the bite that I want, and then the high strings to not sound harsh and to still have like a nice good roundness. Because when I get the high strings set the way I like them, like basically D through high E, then the E and the A can sound a little bit muddy. But when I get the E and the A where I like them, sometimes the high strings lose that roundness. So that's always been the struggle for me with wide range humbuckers. And I feel like the pickup that solved that the best was the 2020 CuNiFe. The vintage CuNiFe I thought was great in that respect, but I feel like I had a little more fun playing the 2020 CuNiFe. And in the examples, the distorted stuff with the 2020 CuNiFe neck was just awesome. It was like perfect. And the vintage CuNiFe I thought was perfect on the clean stuff. So yeah, I've got some decisions to make. So yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments. It's always cool to see what people's perspective is. That's, often different than mine, and that's what makes this fun. It's all subjective. When it comes down to it, these are just guitar pickups. They just happen to be really fun. But anyway, so Wide Range Fest number 2 is definitely going to have a set of Brandon wounds that I ordered. And the unique thing about Brandon wound is that he is using the iron, chromium, and cobalt magnets, which he says are very, very close to Alnico 3 in tone and in strength and all that. And I know that we're getting into an area of a lot of disagreement and a lot of what you might just call pseudoscience, but I think there's a lack of understanding of what we have going on as players with these pickups versus what the pickup manufacturers are making. But I feel like as a player, I can tell the difference between an Alnico 2 pickup and an Alnico 5 pickup. And I really think it comes down to the strength of the magnet and the size of the magnet and the shape. Like the staples from, like Lollar makes the staple pickup, and I know Lollar's not the first to make the staple P90, but he talks about how just the shape of that magnet makes a difference for how it sounds, why it sounds very different than like just the Alnico P90s that he makes. So if you take like the shape and the size of the magnet and the strength of the magnet, those two things I think can affect your the strength of the tone and which frequencies are accented the most and the dynamics. I I don't necessarily think that there's a certain tone, like a direct correlation between the tone and the type of magnet used. But I think that in general, like if the shape and the strength of the magnet can affect how your guitar sounds in the end. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos in the future. And we'll see you later. Thanks.